Okay, we'll get started here. The webinar series, if you've attended before, we try to get these a lot of information out very quickly in about 15 minutes to get everybody back to their workday. So we'll go through this relatively quickly, and you're certainly welcome to reach out at any time. One housekeeping thing, you are able to ask questions in the chat or Q&A area. Those will get answered as we kind of go through this if they're relevant. Otherwise, we can take care of those at the end. So feel free at any time to lob in a question. As you can see here, I'm going to turn off my camera, but as you can see here, the webinar today specifically is going to cover sales reporting in the system. I'll very briefly talk about other areas of reporting, but this is specifically going to focus on sales, revenue, and margin reporting. Really quickly, before we hop into Wherefour and the Insights module, wanted to kind of give an overview of traditional reporting and business intelligence level reporting. Traditional reporting, as you know, is spreadsheets. It's static. Oftentimes you have to pull multiple reports, cobble them together. At any cadence that you need them, you have to go in every week or every month and have someone compile those reports and regenerate them. They're manual, time consuming. Again, we call it spreadsheet hell, where you end up spending a lot of time in spreadsheets, and if the person that knows how to create them leaves the company or is on vacation, God forbid, then you can't get what you need, and it requires a level of expertise that small and medium-sized companies sometimes just don't have. Business intelligence, which we're going to go through here in the Insights module. Reporting is real time. You don't have to generate it. It just happens. It's completely customizable. It's actionable, meaning we can bring whatever data you need to the surface to make decisions at any time, whether that is within the operation or from a sales perspective. It's consistent. It's coming right out of the database in real time. It's interactive and explorable. So without further ado, we're going to hop in here and take a look at the Insights module. So as you can see here, there's a bunch of different modules across the top here. When you log in, there's a dashboard that we've put together for you that has a lot of data that could be relevant to you, and we'll go through some of the customizations that can happen, but basically any data from the system can be used to generate any type of reporting that you need, sliced in any way, whether it be by date, by customer, by product, by salesperson, by category. All of those things are reportable in the system. And again, those can be generated in real time. So I'm going to go through here, and as we're kind of diving into this, some of these things, part of what we're trying to do here is just to show you what is possible in the system. And then again, realizing that something that you specifically might need can be generated from here. So basically, we're looking at an order and sales dashboard here that's looking at the month-to-date orders, both in quantity and dollars. Open orders, meaning orders that we have in the system that have not shipped out yet. And if we're looking at this, we're saying, well, that's a really high number compared to what we've shipped out to date. Maybe we want to dive into this and take a look at it. In business intelligence, we can drill actually into the database that we've put together for you and see what these transactions are underneath all of those in open orders, in case we want to speed up production, get specific orders shipped out, or maybe, and let's sort these once we've opened it up here from high to low, and we're going to be able to identify where the bulk of these open orders are and try to get those out the door, because as we all know, you have to ship an order out the door in order for your customer to get a bill and you to get paid. So we've got 4 orders here across the top that comprise over $1 million, 1.2 million, almost half of that open order amount, and orders that were placed a couple of months ago, so long lead time stuff. So we can really drill into the data and see what's underneath there, instead of having to query somebody in the shipping department or the salesperson or somebody like that. Anybody interacting with the data can drill in and see what's behind it. So we've got orders by week here, so we can see trend lines. So not sure what happened here. We've got a Black Friday potentially at the end of November. Maybe we hired another salesperson. Maybe a customer placed a specifically large order. Again, if I wanted to drill into that, I could see it, and I could break it down by day if I wanted to. Same thing here on the revenue side. So at the top was order volume. This is actually booked revenue out the door. So again, we can drill into shipments month to date. The margin. So just as important as revenue is what are we making on the shipments that we send out here? Because Wherefour does costing, we have margin on every single shipment that goes out. And so we've got margin level reporting at every order by customer, by salesperson, by channel, by distributor, kind of however you need to slice and dice that data. Any of these month to date reports are not going to be affected by changing. We've got a date filter up here. So let's say we don't want to just look at the last 3 months. Let's look at the last 6 months and update my reporting based on that. You're going to see that this is going to get regenerated here. So while this used to be 3 months, now we're going all the way back to June, and we're seeing the order volume over that period of time and sales by month as well over that same 6-month period. So that's just kind of basic snapshot sales data that someone might want to look at. If we want to drill into that data a little bit more, we're going to slice and dice it here in a number of different ways. And anytime you're looking at sales data and we're slicing it by product or by customer or by channel or by category, you can get the same slice data with regard to margin as well. So if we're looking at this, a pie chart is a great way to look at kind of proportion to the business. If you look at this in just a typical spreadsheet table, these numbers are they're going to be listed all in a row here. It's going to be probably, because we've got this other category of 7.7%, there could be 100 different products in there. And so it's really difficult to see where are we making the bulk of our business or where are we making the bulk of our revenue. And if we look at the way that this is sliced out, we basically have 5 products here that are making up about 50% of the business. And if we needed to, again, if I wanted to drill into this and look at these individual records, or I wanted to break it out by a certain category here, if I wanted to break it down by item, for example, if I wanted to look at the specific items that comprise this category because I can't remember what's in there, again, I can drill into the data and see which specific products within there are comprising that that business. So same thing here by category. I've got different categories in this particular company, meaning potentially different product lines. These are completely customizable within Wherefour. You can set up your business however you want. So these could be set up as specific categories within those. Maybe we've got case pack beverages, different groups and things like that. You can have subcategories underneath if you want to. So again, you can really set up the system to be able to analyze sales and margin in whatever way that you would want to. So down here, again, we can look at margin by product. Up top, we've looked at sales, and down here we can look at margin by product. Where are we making our money specifically? And again, we've got about 5 products. I'm guessing it's the same 5 above that comprise most of our sales. And that's just showing us dollar margin. But let's say I want to look at it on a percentage basis, which products are most profitable. And if I look at these, I've got a bunch up in that 80 or 90%. That's really what I want to focus on, driving my business on these high profit margin products. If I look down here, maybe there's some lower margin products. Maybe I can work on efficiencies, things like that. If I've got a combination of a high quantity sales product and a low margin, any difference I can make in driving up that margin by 5 or 10 points can make a huge difference on what goes to the bottom line in the company. So again, it really enables you to drill into the data to understand where you're making your revenue, but then also where you're making your money, and to take action on it. So another way to slice and dice things. So I can look at customer level sales. So this one, we go in here again, like, hey, I've got 5 new customers in December. I don't recall what those customers were. If I want to just click into this and see what those customers are, again, I can really quickly interact with the data and see that these are basically my 5 new customers that came in last month. And, I can congratulate the salesperson. In fact, I could break this down by salesperson if I wanted to. Margin by customer, a different way to look at it. So when we look at it here, we can really see the scale of what margin is being produced by each customer. And then, we've got a customer down here where we're losing a bunch of money. And we could drill into those transactions if we want to see if that was one sale or if we've set up our pricing across the entire product line to be unprofitable. So again, we can really quickly drill into data and see where outliers are or where we have some problems in the company. In this particular way that we've set it up, you can attach different channels here. So if you have a lot of our customers have direct to consumer business, they might have regional distribution, they might have national distribution. You can set attributes against transactions and customers and break those down by whatever sales channel you want in the system. And then, of course, you can do sales comparisons over time. So if I go into here, this is going to look at last month revenue versus the prior month and prior year. So we can look at how the business is growing. Same thing over last year versus prior year. Once these renders pulling the data out of the database here, and when these reports populate, December of 25, meaning last month, we had $268,000 in revenue. That's up over the prior month. That was 101,000. And same month last year, which might be a better comp, especially for a lot of customers that are seasonal, that same period last year might be a better comp. So a couple of, that's kind of a general overview of the things that we can do in the system. And I want to show you a couple of examples of some really customizable things. So a lot of our customers are doing business with large distributors. And so let's say I wanted to go in and create a report that showed me the shipments specifically to a set of customers, which would be my UNFI customers. So any customer that contains UNFI, and I want to see the aggregation of product revenue because I've set up a dashboard that you'll see in a second here. And I want to group this by inventory item. And I also want to just look at the previous month. So basically we have sales broken down or including only UNFI customers for last month. And we're going to break down our sales by item here. And we'll visualize this really quickly. And we're going to call it UNFI sales by item prior month. So we've saved that report basically, and now we've saved it to a dashboard that we've set up in the system, and we've got location sales set up in here, and we've got another tab called sales detail. I'm going to move that particular report to sales detail so we can see this is last month's sales for all of our UNFI locations. On the other tab, we're going to have this broken down by item. I don't particularly like the way this looks, so if I wanted to, let's save this dashboard here. I can drill into this, and I want to, let's say I actually prefer to look at this as a pie chart instead of this bar chart that we've set up in the system. The system is basically going to guess at how you want to view this data. And what you have the ability to do is to go in and maybe you want to look at it in a pie chart, or maybe you want to look at it in just a table here. So if I wanted to look at it in a table and sort it from high to low, I can do that. And so you have the ability to kind of structure the data however you want. And then this will then be what's generated every month. And I'm going to go into another feature that we have in the system here. So let's say we want to just call this sales. And now I'm going to save that, and we're good to go there. So now we've got our dashboard, and this used to be a reporting system that Jeff in accounting used to email out at the beginning of every month. We've got location sales. We can break it down by a particular item. We can break it down by category. We can throw margin on here. And let's say this is a reporting package that it took me a week to generate at the end of the month. This is going to automatically happen. It's going to automatically update every month at the end of the month. And let's say I want to email it out monthly on the first Monday at 8 a.m. And I want to email it to, myself or any of the managers in the company or anything like that. So basically you have the ability to also to set up subscriptions, and these people don't even have to be users of Wherefour. It could be a salesperson out in the field and you want to email that person's sales to them, their sales report at the beginning of every month. So not only is it going to produce the data that you want, it's going to cut down dramatically on the time that whoever's in charge of your reporting, it's going to cut down the time that they take every month just compiling the same exact reports and sending them out at the end of every month. So that could be one thing that we could do. We could also send out, like, let's say I wanted a daily snapshot. I can go in, same thing, and I just want to look at what were my sales yesterday. I want to filter by yesterday, and I want to sum it again. I want to sum up my revenue, and I also want to throw my margin in there. So I want to see how much money I made yesterday, and I just want to group that by customer. So, or let's just do it. Let's again send that out by item. So I just want to see all my sales yesterday and my margin. And I want this to render at the beginning of every day and get sent out as a snapshot to all the managers every morning. They're going to see what happened in the company yesterday. And again, this is going to guess it the way that I want to see it. And in this case, this is revenue, this is margin. Something like that where you've got multiple data points, it usually makes the most sense to just put it into a standard table here, and I can save that, and maybe I've got my daily snapshot dashboard that I've set up here, and I can throw daily sales and margin, and I can throw that onto my daily snapshot dashboard that gets emailed out to the team every morning from the prior day or in the middle of the night, and it's waiting in your email box in the morning. So that gives you kind of a sample. I know we're right at time here, but it wanted to give you just kind of a sense of what's possible in the system. And there's a lot more that we didn't cover here that is possible. You could set up a customer dashboard that looked at the items, the categories, the profitability, and filter it by customer and just toggle between customers and see what they bought from you. So again, you don't have to pull reports anymore. Your reports are ready. You can manipulate them and interact with them in any way that you want. We have one question here that's basically, can you do time series comparisons? You absolutely can. You can look at, if you look at the global dashboard that we had here, we had this sales comparisons that were set up here. And so you can look at month to date, year to date, compare to prior year to date, prior month to date, all of those sorts of things. So you definitely have the ability to compare things. And again, slice and dice them by customer, by sales year over year on specific customer base and that sort of thing. So we're at time here. We don't have any more questions in the chat. I appreciate everybody that was here today. It was definitely a popular webinar. Everybody wants to know how much money they're making, both on the sales and margin line. So we appreciate you coming today. You can certainly reach out to just go to our website, but you can also email me directly if you want. And oops, not share. We want to slideshow that. You can email me directly if you have specific questions. If you want to walk through this in more depth, ask specific questions that are relevant to you on whether or not we can produce a certain type of reporting, you're certainly welcome to reach out. And thank you very much. Have a good rest of the week and a very profitable 2026.